Okay, folks, we're back, and I've started adding some shadow using a watered down version of that ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. And I'm using it just to create the shadows that are laying on these leaf petals and on the underside of this bud on the flower. And again, using the colors that are in the background, a watered down version of that in the shadow is helping it all be in the same color family, lit by the same sun, and sharing that common light source. And you see where this green is already dry, I can take this watery wash of a gray, and if I just lay my brush on the surface and pull it across, I don't have to do any more markings. I don't want to rub it or massage it at all. And it lays down right on top, and you end up getting a shadowy version of the color that's there because it's that watery wash I'm putting on top is transparent, and so it's letting that green show through, and it's the perfect way to adopt some shadows. Now I still got room in the background to go darker still, so I'm gonna add some more ultramarine blue, some more of this burnt sienna, and I really want the darkest combination of this color now. And we're gonna make some of the dark marks just that much. Oh, wait a minute. I need to do one more shady area. Let's get some shade on this branches and I'm sorry, this leaf here in the foreground. I want to hide it in the shade a bit. There we go. You'll see I'm going to blend that in right into the background. And this leaf here is going to be partly illuminated and partly in the shade. Put this down. All right, so going back to this darkest color, I'm gonna further darken this background or this negative space. Again, doing that, it just continues to pull the subject of the painting, pulls it out more and more. I'm gonna leave room for our imagination to fill in some of the gaps. You don't have to say it all. Leave room for the viewer to imagine some of what they need to see. There we go. And I continue to mix more of that color as I go. There we go. I'm careful to use various portions of my brush. I want to use some of the tip and really get some fine markings in there. And I also want to flatten it out and get some big strokes. The sophistication of a painting shows by varying or having variation in the width and shape of your strokes. There you go. You can see I'm giving it a variation in mark, a variation in tone, in shadow, in stroke width. See how I'm using just the tip of the brush to give me a more dynamic mark. And giving it this darker layer, it's just adding just another dimension, giving it more depth. Here again, I'm gonna play with that negative space. We're getting near the finish line on this one. And when I'm working in this negative space, I sometimes too just I use that negative space to create more leaves in the background by the space I omit, like here. Yeah, that gives the appearance that they're more in the background. I tell you, I don't think there's much left that I want to do. That gave some dimension, right? Go a little darker here at the base. All right, now at the center of that bulb, we've got this dark mass. I need to capture that, and I think I'm gonna add some red to this dark mixture I have and wash it out a little bit with a little water. And I think that's gonna, actually, I think I wanna wet the surface first and predetermine my bleed. I'm gonna wet where I want the pigment to go and where I want it to flow. And having done that, I know these things always dry lighter than I imagine. See, my water's doing a little work for me, which I love, right? I'm gonna encourage it a little more. I gotta run. We have a runner. I gotta wipe off my brush and catch it. There. All right. I'm gonna give that a second to dry before I go in a little bit darker. And then what's next is gonna be some highlights. I'm gonna use some gouache. I just put a little splash. Did you see that? I'm gonna give it a little splash on here just to add some points of interest. I'm just taking a little water on my brush and giving it a splash. Sometimes I like just to add a little more texture. And sometimes a well-placed splatter can give you just a little drama. I don't like drama in my personal life, but I like a little drama in my art. How's that? Boy, putting that dark area in the bulb really seemed to bring that flower to life. And I'm gonna dry that just a little bit with a little fanning. Let me see. I'm gonna fan that a little bit because before it's absolutely dry, I just want to get some more markings in here to try and capture this texture. And if it's not 100% dry, I think it's going to give me some softer edges that might lend toward the feeling we want. We talked about mark making and using our brush, and here's one of those places where we want to show off our mark making skills, but we can only do that if we're practicing. And practice we will. I think I'm holding my breath again. This is a place where we need a delicate touch. I'm trying to be as delicate as I can here. A flower is a delicate thing. All right, we're at 15-minute mark, that fast. I'm gonna pause and then we'll wrap it up when we get into our class. But that's the last, I think, nothing much left to do except to put in our highlights.